Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar, and I've been working on FBI stuff and some Star Citizen stuff for the last couple days. And also, I've been looking into the old Logan Pauls. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the Paul brothers are truly a different type of beast. And this video title should be pretty much exemplary. No clickbait, no nothing. Logan Paul is just not to be trusted, period. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to influencers on the internet, all right, you really have to be careful whose advice you follow, especially when it comes to money, okay? Money and influencers and NFTs and crypto just go hand in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been following, CoffeeZilla made an amazing series of videos regarding the Crypto Zoo project from Logan Paul. Now, Crypto Zoo is something that I can tell you right now, pretty much everybody who was investigating into crypto stuff was looking at a year ago. A year ago when it first gained true popularity when it first got announced, right? Now, to understand, NFTs and cryptocurrencies have seen a significant downturn, NFTs especially. We went from the days of, people like Justin Bieber, people like big celebrities buying these NFT Bored Apes, whatever you want to call it, mutant apes, whatever big project they had. And all of a sudden, these projects, these specific NFTs, magically went from, say, $100,000 in value all the way down to $100. So in averages, you've seen somewhere around 90 to 99% losses on these NFTs, all right? And it shouldn't surprise you, okay? Virtual pictures on the blockchain, receipts of pictures on the blockchain aren't really worth that much money, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to speculative markets. But of course, the Paul brothers have been notable in pushing so many of these that it's almost hard to keep track. Now, 2 months ago, I made a video where I talked about I really hate social media influencers. And I do. I get it. I understand as somebody that's technically an influencer as well, I tend to hate myself too, okay? Self-hatred is real in this industry. But in that video, I talked about, Logan Paul's various projects, Dink, doink, some of Crypto Zoo, and how these projects absolutely went nowhere. When it comes to NFT projects run by influencers, typically they get you in, all right? They talk about hyping this project up for one day, and then once it's launched and like a month has passed, you never see any real progress. I think one of the biggest mistakes in investigating crypto scams and influencers is looking at their projects and rarely doing a follow-up after. I remember a year ago, we looked into Million Token by a YouTuber known as Tech Lead, for instance, just going off topic a little bit. He made a Million Token, all right, which I guess was supposed to be some new age of crypto. A bunch of people jumped into it as fans. There was a lot of money being made in the world of liquidity pools and just how much volume was being traded with this token at the time. And at the time, this was somewhere worth into like $40, all right? Each token was going for like $40 at the time. And if you look at the actual token now, all right, it's absolutely dropped to nothing. We're looking at a token that is now worth around $2, if anything. They did make a project. It's like they made something known Metaphora, like Twitter for the blockchain, which I guess still has actual people talking on it, right? Like 11 days ago, there was some post. A day ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago from Million Degens. Hey, listen up. If you've been banned by the fascist regime of Vanessa and lead admin Megabay at MMG, you can join us at Napoleon Island. We will not ban you for fun. Yeah, I put money into this crappy token and I got a crappy social network out of it. If you wonder why people don't take cryptocurrencies seriously, I think this might be a good splash on your face about it. But one of the reasons why people got a really, a lot of people had some reservations about Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo project, his Crypto Zoo game, was just shortly ago, all right? He had a history of pushing a lot of these cryptocurrency projects that ended up going nowhere. So one of them infamously was known as Dink, doink. All right, now Dink, doink is an open source media project. All right, and of course, season 2 is still apparently in production, allegedly, I guess you could say. Now, what happened with Dink Doink was it was supposed to be like some comedy NFT sketch. You can actually look at it right over here. All right, they were literally releasing these like interesting, like I guess not interesting. They were releasing like these video series, these like comedy shorts, these comedy episodes with big, stars like Paris Hilton, I guess you could say. I don't even know if Paris was actually involved into it, but given she's got a hexagon profile picture denoting the fact that she's bought an NFT, shows me just how far people have fallen from grace. Oh, here's Elon's Musk. Yeah, you got Elon Musk in the entire thing too. I guess Dink Doink is now a god and this is heaven. I would argue some would interpret this as a hell. This was one comedy short. You can see that they're trying to go for a South Park style. If South Park was filmed on a budget, the cost of a box of Lucky Charms, if you will, that's the kind of vibe we're hitting at over here, okay? And of course, these projects only worked because they got larger influencers to work with them. Like here you got Logan Paul. And of course, if you thought the animation is bad with the Elon Musk thing, it could have gotten even lower, which we're witnessing right here. Now, of course, if you go to Dink Doink's website, oh God, it's down. The domain might be for sale. I think I might buy this and just upload Goatsy onto it at this point because it's pretty much what everyone putting their money into this project effectively got. If you use the Wayback Machine and go back in time, you can actually see Dink Doink was all about the memes, all right? Dink Doink aims to be the first ever decentralized media franchise. What does that even mean? And of course, they were just selling themselves on memes, okay? This was actually a good representation of who the Dink holders were, okay? You should have been that surprised, all right, when you were getting fisted. Now, of course, Logan Paul then made a project known as Crypto Zoo, and if you go on to Crypto Zoo, you can still see that its socials are active, or not active, they're still alive. You got Crypto Zoo on Instagram over here, which is collect and breed exotic animals that yield zoo on the blockchain. Stay far away from anything influencer and blockchain is all I'm going to say. Now, of course, Crypto Zoo, as you can see over here on the project, this is their current website right now. Builders build. Crypto Zoo is undergoing upgrades to the core infrastructure of the ecosystem. And I remember looking at this 2 months ago and given the same page. So I guess apparently they're still updating the core infrastructure somehow. Now, according to Crypto Zoo's old website before the maintenance, Crypto Zoo was allowing you to build your zoo and earn crypto. Crypto Zoo is an autonomous ecosystem that allows zookeepers to build, sell, and trade exotic animals and hybrids. Crypto Zoo incorporates cryptocurrencies and NFTs into a simple, fun game for the family. Get ready! And of course, you can see very quickly, this was the amount of NFTs that they were working with. Just pictures of animals doing animal things. You could kind of like breed them together. So for instance, if you look closer at this abomination of Noah's Ark, you can see that we've got a fucking whale. You can see we got a whale and a pug combined together. Hey, you ever wanted to put a turtle and a goddamn gorilla together? Well, here you go, right there. Bear and a shark. Oh, look what I bred. Truly, this is like a mad scientist's wet dream. But of course, you can see right here, they explain it. It all begins with an egg. You go to the Crypto Zoo marketplace, you buy your egg, you can sell the egg, hold on to them, or you can hatch them. Once the egg is hatched, you get a basic animal that earns you zoo daily. You get to pimp this thing out to the blockchain. Then you can breed 2 NFTs together and get a hybrid egg. Kind of an interesting play on the game, but at the end of the day, this was an NFT game, right? It's an NFT game in the same vibe as really anything in this play-to-earn ecosystem. At the end of the day, people putting their money into this should have known they were going to end up losing it anyways. The real problem with this NFT was shortly after it was shilled by Logan Paul, I never really got into it at all. Okay, Logan Paul still has these tweets up, by the way, from September 5th, 2021, where literally Crypto Zoo opened up to making like millions of dollars day one, all right? It literally started off being in the top 10 of total volume on OpenSea during its launch week. So, of course, Logan Paul, the best part about this, we're not just an NFT, we're not just a token. Crypto Zoo is a game. Understandingly, a good choice of words for lawyers in the future looking at this. He literally just admitted it's not just a game and it's not just a token. I don't know if the SEC is going to be too kind when Logan Paul has literally admitted that this basically is a token, right by his own words. Crypto Zoo Co. is a game. All right, so what is the game in this case? Again, we just literally described what the game was, all right? You literally get to make, fused abominations, and I guess they can make zoo currency, which you can then flip for more valuable cryptocurrency. At least that's what the, thought process should be going on forward. Now, of course, this project ended up going nowhere because Logan promoted it very briefly, and afterwards, total deafening silence, all right? So much deafening silence that the actual project went into complete obscurity, and now the game pretty much doesn't even exist. And I want to rip the Band-Aid off and just pretty much say what everyone already thinks anyways. When it comes to cryptocurrency or NFT-based video games, these are not meant to be video games to be enjoyed. At the end of the day, most people putting their money into this, everyone really putting their money into this, is putting their money into it because they have the expectation of making more money anyways. People like Logan Paul know this, all right? Anybody with an influencer following knows that if they have the following behind them and they push any of these projects and they get in early and they cash out way before the drop happens, they can make a lot of money. Throughout the year Logan Paul was pushing this, I could have jumped onto the train, and if I had no self-respect whatsoever for you, I could have probably made around $1 to $10 million USD. That's the money that I gave up because I don't believe in screwing you guys over, okay? I know that I've had my own issues in certain cases with certain sponsors, but I think that's a lot different than like knowingly understanding that I am part of a project that is out there specifically to drain money out of your wallet and keep it for myself. Look, a lot of influencers will do it because there's literally no repercussions for it, okay? Logan is in such a sweet spot for this because if there's literally only one, if there's like a few $1 million of money being changed around, that's literally enough to be a good chunk of change and not enough to be on the FBI, SEC, government radar yet. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in, and I think most influencers get it. There's a lot of people who have literally rug pulled their audiences, and they have literally lived like fine, all right? Nothing has happened to them yet, and it doesn't seem like anything is going to happen to them, period. So you really have to understand, you have to pick as an influencer, easy money or long-term success with my fans. Now, Logan Paul is a person completely marred in controversy. Back in 2019, or was it 2019? 2017, he actually did the, Aokigahara forest incident, so to speak. And during this incident, Logan Paul went out, filmed a dead body, got a shit ton of backlash for it. And ever since then, he's been on this redemption arc, all right? Now, the redemption arc was pretty great. For a long time, we just basically forgave Logan Paul. It's like, whatever, the guy learned, he's matured, and he's doing a lot of different things. And for me, when I looked at Logan Paul being part of these big brands like Prime, or joining these big boxing matches, and making a crap ton of money there, it always really made me weird that Logan Paul was ever jumping into these NFT things, especially during a time when any influencer jumping into this was getting hate anyways. But Logan Paul was pushing several projects, CryptoZoo was one of them. Now, obviously, this game didn't go anywhere, and anybody that put money into the CryptoZoo project has absolutely seen that money gone, all right? It's never going to come back, never going to happen. Now, of course, Logan Paul actually did talk on an interview, one with The Block, for instance, where they actually did talk about this specific CryptoZoo project. And inside here, the project sparked controversy when observers on Twitter noticed that some images appeared to be taken from stock images. This is one where Coffee literally looked at one of the images right now. For instance, this is like a panda, and this is from like the CryptoZoo website. So apparently it seems like the CryptoZoo like panda was just the same goddamn panda from like the Adobe stock images, except with like an elephant trunk like photoshopped onto it. This is the quality people were jumping into, all right? Again, I kind of don't have any sympathy when you as a person have put $100 or $100,000 into a crypto project backed by an influencer. At the end of the day, you know, given past history, it's doomed for failure, okay? You literally screwed yourself, not the influencer in some cases. I mean, the influencer screwed you, don't get me wrong, but you willingly walked into a forest full of visible bear traps. You have nobody else that you can really reasonably blame but yourself. A lot of personal accountability has to really be a part of the situation. So, of course, Paul acknowledges the stock image issue was partially true. The hell does that even mean? But claimed that the project was less about art and more about making hybrid animals that had a virality factor, okay? Isn't it goofy if a penguin did a cat? Imagine what their babies would look like. Paul also claimed that the project's initial team was problematic, a situation he since says has been rectified. We got ourselves involved with the wrong people who made some errors and blunders, and we have a great team now that are still working on it. Now, while Logan Paul says that he's getting people to fix the CryptoZoo project anyways, you can still see just in this video alone, they're still going through some crazy maintenance. I guess fusing two animals together on the blockchain is a bit harder than one could expect. Now, of course, with CoffeeZilla's video, it turns out that, these people that were involved in this entire situation. Now, according to Coffee, when they were actually talking to some of the programmers behind the project, apparently Logan Paul was pretty much responsible for its downfall since the beginning, it seems, where Paul basically hired this person's team to code this specific game, and he actually failed to pay these guys really anything, and then took the code, and it pretty much just spiraled from there, okay? There was failure of payments, people weren't getting paid on time, and of course the programmers may not have necessarily been to blame as much as Logan would have been in regards to this project, because you got to understand, okay? Regardless of whoever was behind the project, a lot of the steam picked up from these things are from the influencers. So Logan literally pushed this onto his fan base. His fan base took his credibility, his word for it, sadly, and put their money down on the line. And of course, for anybody, playing the game or investing into the game, they pretty much have seemed to lost all their money, okay? They don't have anything left to show for the CryptoZoo project. Now, again, given Logan Paul and the Paul brothers in general in regards to cryptos and NFTs, it really made me wonder why anybody was putting any faith or any money down for people who obviously have a pretty marred past regarding this bullshit to begin with. And again, I think most of it does rely a bit on personal responsibility. I will admit I have a severe amount of sympathy, especially during a time of coronavirus or the COVID-19 pandemic, where people were trying to desperately pay their bills. And again, I'm sure we can all constantly say personal responsibility, but this was a time when people were trying to get money to pay for rent, food, whatever you wanted to do. This was a time where people were losing their jobs and income was highly unstable. So I'm sure for somebody who looked at their rich influencers, people who were living in multi-million-dollar mansions, driving nice cars, living in fancy cities, obviously if they're doing something with their money, maybe it's wise to emulate them because I guess they know what they're doing. And of course, anytime it comes to financial advice, you should always pay for somebody that is a financial expert, somebody who's qualified and legally allowed to give financial advice because they've got skin in the game. When it comes to influencers, all influencers care about themselves 100%. Look, I love you guys at the end of the day, okay? We're a good team. I love my community. But in order to call the parasocial stuff out, I am not your friend, so to speak, right? Like, you don't know me as a person, right? You've never met me in real life. You should never, ever listen to me about financial advice or follow anything I push onto you if you think you're going to make money out of it. Because as a human being, obviously I'm interested in my own bank account. Now, I'm sure if I pushed a cryptocurrency out to you, ask yourself the question, who's really winning in this? Are you winning or am I winning because I've been paid a crap ton of money to shill that specific cryptocurrency for you? You really have to take the parasocial aspect out of these situations and really look at this with a level head. Now, of course, ever since then, Logan Paul has invited CoffeeZilla onto his show, Impulsive, the podcast. While I generally appreciate Steven's creative genius, this one is simply not true. When appropriate, all bad actors will be exposed. And again, he's holding people accountable on January 3rd. Why not sooner? I don't know. Of course, Logan Paul went down even further into the situation and invited him onto the show. Third request for comment, CoffeeZilla and CryptoZoo. I'd love to extend the offer for you to come on Impulsive in person. We'll cover all flights and accommodations. Okay. Seriously, interesting. The best thing in these situations is never to respond to the criticisms, never to respond to the scandals, because they just raise more of an attention onto you. I don't know what Logan is expecting in this situation after the reporting by Steven. I don't know what he thinks is going to happen, simply because all the optics look bad for the guy. Now, of course, Coffee ended up looking into this situation and pretty much said that, hey, how about you show the email I actually have here too? So, for instance, it makes me sad to see you try to discredit my work given how many times I've reached out to you in good faith. Again, he literally asked him several times for comment. Logan refused to give it. Nevertheless, once again, I want to invite you to tell your side of the story on my platform. This email was sent 24 hours before he got invited on Impulsive. If you have nothing to hide, this should be a no-brainer. We can chat about everything CryptoZoo. I also extend the same invitation to Eddie, Jeff, and Crypto King. Remember that guy with the Pokemon cards? Yeah. All that matters is the truth, the victims, and making things right for the single mothers, fathers, and kids who invested millions. I can even put you in contact with them if you'd like. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think there's much more to say other than Logan Paul is, in fact, a scumbag. All right, I don't like Logan Paul, and I don't think Logan Paul should have ever been given that redemption arc that he's been on. Because the way Logan Paul has treated his fan base and treated, the people around him like dollar signs and used cryptocurrencies and NFTs as a way to liken his own pocket and liven it up at the cost of several other people, knowingly, I have to say, because everyone knows what's going to happen to these projects as soon as they push them. I don't think this man is to be trusted. Honestly, in a perfect world, I really wish YouTube would look into his channel and look into how he's been pushing these things, and make a sort of educated sort of policy maneuver. Because this should happen to really any influencer that pushes these kind of crypto NFT shenanigans, all right? At the end of the day, this is a fraudulent practice, all right, in a lot of cases to be pushing onto your fan base. I think another thing should happen too is a lot of these law enforcement agencies that want to slap fines and look into this should look at Logan Paul. But anyways, this video is going longer than it ever has to. Logan Paul is a weird guy, wild character, and one that, in my opinion, should never, ever be trusted. And when it comes to influencers and cryptocurrencies and projects, nobody, and I mean nobody, should be trusted. But I also know this whole statement is a waste of time. Because like crypto, and like the influencers and the fans that follow them, the memories are like goldfish. People will forget about it a month later. A scam will happen, people will fall for it, and then people will wonder just what could have happened to avoid it. Brother, we've had a whole year to learn from this, and nobody's made any changes. Let's know in the comment section below what you think. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I'm gonna go play Star Citizen.